Hey guys, Jeremiah with Steps Pressure Washing and More, and today is our last ride with the 5x8 trailer. This has been our trailer since 2020 when we first started, rolling around doing some practice houses, friends and family, stuff like that. And really it has held up extremely well. I think we paid $650 for it back in September of 2020, and it has held up very, very well. And we really only had to put some new lights on it, but we've really just outgrown it. And I'm ready to move into that 14-footer that we have sitting in the driveway. And we're going to take a little time off, a little vacation. When we come back, I've got a couple extra days where I'm going to transfer everything over. And we'll have a little bit more room to work in the trailer, as well as maybe do some add-ons and eventually start upgrading. But today we've got two jobs. One's going to be a house with a shed, and then the next one's just some gutters. So it's going to be hot today, so I've got extra water, extra drinks, and hopefully we're not out there too long, but it's going to be a decent sized day. Well, anyway, let's get out there. Alright, getting set up here on job number one. This is the metal building slash shed that we're going to be cleaning today. I've done a few of these. And really the biggest thing that I would say I had issues with is this roof. I don't do roof cleaning, so it's a little bit less than ideal, but I'm going to get it cleaned off best I can. A hot mix generally does the trick for me, and all this crud here on the sides is going to need a little bit of a warmer mix than what I usually would use. So nothing too impressive here on the back, just a little bit of gunk. It doesn't look like it's been super long time since they've had it cleaned. I've definitely done some of these buildings where I really had my work cut out for me, and luckily this is not one of them. We're also going to be doing the house while we're here, and it is not in terrible condition. This is the north side, so if this is as bad as the algae growth gets, that's alright. I believe this is either hardy board or wood plank by the look of it. I'm going to say this is wood plank, and again, that does not get as the algae growth as bad as what the vinyl siding gets. So really, mostly what we're doing today, there's a ton of bees. So a lot of what we're doing today is just cleaning up some of this boar bee mess, along with any frass, spider webs, bug droppings that we find. Just turning this white house back to the way it should be. But first I need to go make a mix. I actually emptied my tank a couple days ago, thinking I would have a little more time to do the switch over from the small trailer to the larger trailer, but that was not the case. Got a little wasp nest up there in the corner. Overall, pretty simple, straightforward. I did this driveway a few months ago, and I really love coming back and seeing the work holding up as good as this one is. But alright, I'm gonna get this thing started. Alright, so this is about a 6% out of the XJET, and my hose was just tall enough to reach up here. I could shoot the whole thing from one angle, but I'm going to go over to my other ladder placement and make sure that I am all the way to the corners. Alright, so I wet this whole thing down with 6%, which is about as high as I can go with a hot mix. I might have actually been a little under 6% today, just because my bleach is a little old. Might be somewhere around 4.5 to 5. but I wet the whole thing down with about 4.5 to 5%, I'll say. So now I'm just coming back through with the XJET, rinsing top down, and just knocking loose all this crud, bringing this thing back to life. I would definitely say that this is the best I've ever done on one of these, and I think it is because it is in the best condition that I have had so far. I've had some that were in really bad condition. I had one of my clients called me. They bought one that was in an abandoned field. Someone was building a subdivision. They found it, sold it to him on Facebook Marketplace for like $200 as long as he went and got it. And man, that thing was rough. That took me a few hours, and I wildly underquoted him because I was still pretty new at cleaning these. I think I quoted him like $50. And the thing about me is if I quote somebody something and halfway through the job I realize I underquoted, I eat it. But I learn. You can't do that again. So now I know these little ridges take time and effort to clean out. I charge a little more for the physical labor of it and just overall time consumption. Alright, so this is looking really good. I'm going to let it dry so that maybe I can get a little bit more of the dirt to kind of settle in the crevices, and then come back through with a final rinse all over. The algae and the buildup pretty much blown off. Really try and think of these kind of like giant gutters, so that little ledge under the lip there always needs to be blasted out, and you do get some tiger striping, so that's just going to be what it is. Alright, let's get to washing this house. Alright, we are on final rinse. Got to make a little bit more mix. Well, not final rinse, I guess. Final rinse for what I've got. I've got to make a little bit more mix to finish the front porch area and the first and second floor around the front porch, but this one's not taking up as much time as I was anticipating. Mostly, I think, because I used a 6%, or as close to 6% as I could on that metal building out back. And rather than having to hit it with high pressure, I really just let the SH do the work. I've hit them with lower, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. It's probably going to be my standard right now on those types of buildings. Alright, so here we go. I'm draining the tank. I forgot to pull the cork on that. Nice, beautiful, bright white house. Leave that pressure out of the line. Doesn't sit there while we walk around. Oh yeah. Got the little rocking chairs, did all the brick trim around the house. Nothing crazy, just a little soft wash. Virtually no wind today because, you know, of course it's going to be 106 degrees, so why would we want any wind? So no issue hitting the peak on these at all. Got some Trex decking here and no gutter above this porch, so I had to keep this kind of wet while it ran off. It came out looking great. This shed looks virtually brand new. Take you around here to the side while I get the 5-gallon bucket. Boom. Yes, it has a little bit of pine straw on it, and yes, it's got some leaves on it, but it is under pine trees and oak trees, and that's going to be normal. It is clear of mold and algae. It is beautiful and bright. I would say like new. Maybe not new, but like new is not too far. This was time consuming, but not as time consuming as I was anticipating, just because I used a much hotter mix. get it all cleaned up. All right, well, I'm gonna pack up for the next 30 minutes and head on to the gutter cleaning. All right, so I'm gonna do a little bit of practicing what I preach. It is heat index right now is about 104 degrees, and I am a little overheated from the last job, so I am going to sit in my truck, enjoy some air conditioning, and eat my lunch before just rushing off to the next one. Generally what I will do in these situations is I'll just eat on my way there. This way I'm going to get an extended break time, let my body fully cool down, let my heart rate come down a little bit, and then when hopefully I get to the next job, I'll be a little more refreshed and ready to tackle these gutters without overheating immediately. So don't forget your rest break, guys. And honestly, like really, this heat is dangerous, so make sure you are taking it seriously. All right, out on house number 1 today, and surprised to see some gutter guards. They're not in great condition. These are just plastic gutter guards, but upon inspection inside, our gutter is clogged at the downspout, but really not doing bad everywhere else. So I'm just going to pop this up, do the downspout, and just clean these off. All right, so here's a little tricky spot. Got the level locks set up here, and not in poor condition. So we're kind of just going to be leaving it as is, and maybe coming out twice a year to keep them flowing. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of this where I've got stuff in the corners, and the rest of the gutter guards are holding together pretty well. Every ladder placement I do a quick peek under the gutter guard, and from what I'm seeing, they are still doing what they need to be doing. The clients stated that they don't know when they were installed, and they do not know the last time they were serviced. So for being plastic gutter guards, they're holding up very well. I wouldn't install a plastic gutter guard off of this, but I'm still very happy that they are holding up. There, of course, are failed spots and spots like over here where it's just missing. So I will talk to the client about coming out every 6 months to do a service so that we don't have to worry about these failing. And next time I come out, I want to do some maintaining where I add a few pieces of metal gutter guards onto here where we're missing spots. But overall, not bad. One last side. Alright, well, I am all done on that job, and I've got them scheduled for their next gutter guard clean off in February. Never hurts to ask, would you like me to go ahead and put you on a schedule? So I've already got them booked in our House Call Pro app, which we're using now. And we've got them scheduled for February 3rd. We're going to be going right back out there and doing the same thing, but we're doing an add-on where I'm going to be actually bringing out gutter guards to replace the ones that are missing. Along with that, I mean, it is really one of those things where I'm not a huge fan of doing gutter cleaning, but especially not when it's 106 degrees outside. But making that new client, that new connection, and getting them on a revolving schedule, and that's why I do gutter cleaning. Gutter cleaning you can easily do 2 to 3 times a year if it's needed, and it's not taking advantage of anybody. They're actually in need of that service. Most people don't like ladders, and you'll have something you can bank on for the winter time. Well, that's all I got for y'all today. Y'all be safe out there.